Today we're talking about the 4 ways I save on groceries without living on nonsense. Hello friends, Mary here, and today we're talking about groceries, which is one of those subjects that gets practical in a hurry. Food is not optional, prices are awful. Most of us don't have the time, money, or patience to turn supper into a nightly special event. Who does have time for that? Groceries are one of the categories where people get told two ridiculous things at the same time. Spend less, but also, somehow, eat fresh, healthy, interesting, beautifully prepared meals every day without wasting a thing. Well, that sounds lovely. But in real life, or my real life, saving money on groceries usually means more planning, more prep, and more cooking. That is the trade-off. The good news is that trade-off can still be worth it. Because when you shop modestly and cook thoughtfully, you usually get better food, less waste, and more control over your money. So in this episode, I want to show you 4 practical ways that I save on groceries without living on nonsense. And at the end, I'm going to give you a simple prompt that you can use with ChatGPT, Copilot, or Grok to build yourself a basic grocery list and even turn it into a weekly meal plan for however many people you are feeding. It works. I tested it. It's great. Anyway, so this is not just theory. I'm intending to be helpful, so take it in that vein, please. Before I start, I'm not talking about gourmet cooking, coupon acrobatics, or feeding a family of 6 hungry farmhands. I am talking about normal person food for a normal person life, especially if you're feeding 1 or 2 people and you don't want to deal with a food crisis every day. First thing I do is I buy simpler food on purpose. Not sad food, not punishment food, simpler food. That means fewer convenience foods, fewer expensive little specialty items, and fewer things that somehow jump into the cart because they looked interesting for 6 seconds. You're not trying to impress the internet, you're trying to feed yourself. The grocery bill gets cheaper when food stops being a constant search for novelty. And I think a lot of us get nudged into that search without realizing it. You see beautiful meals online, you see ingredient lists with 12 things, 2 of which you've never heard of before. You see a sauce, a garnish, a flavored this, and infused that, and before long, you're spending real money to produce one hopeful Tuesday supper. And then half the ingredients sit in the refrigerator until they become a science project. That's not thrift, that is optimism with a body count. So I try to come back to foods that are basic, useful, and flexible. Things like eggs, oats, potatoes, rice, yogurt, frozen vegetables, store-brand staples, fruit I will actually eat, and proteins that can be used more than one way. That does not mean food has to be dull. It means it has to be practical enough to earn its place in the kitchen. Because a modest grocery budget doesn't leave much room for edible hobbies. 2. I plan around repeat meals, not constant variety. The second way that I save money is by planning around repeat meals instead of chasing endless variety. A lot of grocery waste starts with the idea that every week needs to feel fresh and new. Every shopping trip becomes a blank page. And that blank page can get expensive. Because when you go in with no base plan, everything sounds possible in the store. A modest kitchen works better when it has some repetition built into it. And repetition is not failure. Repetition is how a kitchen gets affordable. I do not need 27 exciting options. I need a few breakfasts that work. I need a few lunches that work. A short list of dependable suppers. That's much cheaper. And it's also easier on my brain. If breakfast is usually some version of oatmeal, eggs, yogurt, toast, fruit, or a smoothie, that's fine. If lunch rotates around tuna salad, leftovers, soup, sandwiches, or a baked potato with something on top, that's fine too. If supper comes from a short list of dependable options instead of a fresh identity crisis every evening, that is also fine. This is one of those places where I think people feel unnecessary shame, somehow, as if they failed at life if they're not reinventing dinner every night. Just no. You are feeding human beings, not auditioning for a cooking show. And especially if you live alone or feed only 1 or 2 people, variety can get expensive fast. You buy ingredients for one interesting meal, use part of them once, and then spend the next 4 days trying to pretend you still care. That's how money leaks out of a grocery budget. A repeatable meal system may not be glamorous, but it is calm, efficient, and much cheaper. 3. Cook in a way that creates future meals. The third way I save money is by cooking in a way that helps my future self. And this is where there's a less exciting truth. Cheap groceries usually ask for labor. The question is whether you want to pay with money now or ever later. Convenient foods are expensive partly because somebody else already did the thinking, the prepping, the chopping, the portioning, and the cleanup. When you spend less on groceries, some of that work comes back to you. That's just true. But it still can be a very good trade, because if I'm already cooking, I want that cooking session to do more than feed me for one meal. So I try to cook once and get more than one use out of it. Cook once, eat twice, or cook once, eat now, freeze part. Roast enough for another meal. Make a pot of something that can become supper today and lunch tomorrow. Use leftovers intentionally, not guiltily. That part matters, because leftovers have a bad reputation, mostly when they are accidental. When leftovers are planned, they are not sad, they are efficient, and that is where a freezer becomes a real financial tool. Not a frozen graveyard of mysterious containers, a tool. A portion of soup, a serving of chili, cooked meat ready to use, a casserole split into smaller parts, rice already made, bread frozen before it goes stale. That kind of thing cuts down on waste, takeout temptation, and that awful late-day moment when you are hungry, tired, and have no plans. Saving money on groceries is much easier when your future self is not being ambushed at 5:30. 4. Waste less by shopping for the life you actually live. The fourth way I save money is by shopping for the life that I actually live, not the life I imagine I ought to have. A lot of grocery waste comes from buying for a fantasy self. Fantasy self cooks every night. Fantasy self suddenly loves kale. Fantasy self uses the whole celery bunch. Fantasy self has both the energy and the interest to make 3 ambitious recipes in 1 week. Real self is usually just trying to get through Tuesday, and the cheaper grocery list is usually the more honest grocery list. That may mean buying less fresh produce at one time, using frozen vegetables more often, portioning meat when you bring it home, buying fewer ingredients with a very short shelf life, keeping a use-it-up shelf in the refrigerator, or simply admitting that there are some recipes you probably are not going to make this week, no matter how beautiful they looked in theory. This one matters a lot, because wasted food is wasted money, and for smaller households, waste happens fast. A family-sized package is not always a bargain if half of it ends up limp, fuzzy, or haunting the back of the refrigerator, so part of modest grocery shopping is just honesty. Not deprivation, also not perfection. Honesty. What will I really cook? What will I really eat? What do I already have? What tends to go bad here? What do I buy with good intentions and then ignore? Those are money-saving questions. So, those are the 4 big ways I save money on groceries. I buy simpler food on purpose. I plan around repeat meals instead of constant variety. I cook in a way that creates future meals. And I shop for the life I actually live, so less food gets wasted. None of this is magic. Grocery savings usually come through repetition and effort. That is the truth. But the upside is that thoughtful food is often better food, better planned, less wasted, more suited to real life. And for me, modest grocery shopping is not really about deprivation. It's about stability. It's one more way of making sure daily life does not turn into chaos just because the world keeps getting more expensive. And because I like to leave you with something practical, I put the tested grocery list creation prompt in the description for this video. I tested it myself, and I also tried it in ChatGPT, Copilot, and Grok to make sure it actually works in the real world, and not just in theory. So if meal planning tends to turn into a fog bank, go have a look. This prompt helps you build a realistic grocery list and simple meal plan based on what you actually like to eat, how much time you have, and how many people you are feeding, whether you use leftovers or freezer meals, and where you shop. It asks the questions one at a time in a conversational way, then creates a grocery list by category, a simple meal plan, overlap notes to reduce waste, tired day meal ideas, and a rough weekly price estimate. It can work for one person or a household, and it can also offer a more local price estimate if you want to share your zip code and your usual store. It will not give exact prices, force fancy recipes, or assume your life works like a food commercial. If practical real-life thinking like this is useful to you, please like the video, subscribe, and come back for the next one. Thank you for spending time with me. I will see you in the next one.